What's up everyone? So we're back on the GT86. A little bit of progress was made over the couple days that we weren't filming, but let's go take a look at what's going on here. Where we left off, we had the motor in. Mark had done some stainless steel fab work up here. After that, what the video you guys saw, we have then installed this crank breather. Maybe you guys saw that a little bit, but coolant expansion tank is installed, and then we moved into the front end here. We got a Treadstone TR 1035 intercooler, which is more than efficient for how much horsepower this car is gonna make. Since this car is not supposed to have a 6-cylinder, we're extremely limited on the space of, because the motor would have stopped probably, let's say, back here somewhere. Add like a foot of motor, we're out of room basically, but we had to fit a nice dual pass radiator with fans and the intercooler. It all has to fit behind the bumper. As you can see, it's all the way up to where the bumper will go. We could install the bumper in a second, but Mark is just basically welding cups and bungs to everything to hold it and make this removable. It's almost done, but not quite. Maybe Mark will say something if we're lucky. The bumper, yeah, it's gonna touch probably. Right here may need to get clearance a little bit. We aren't using that grill because that has, how much space does that have, like an inch mark, the grill? There's still no oil cooler. There's still no power steering cooler, which typically we would want to put in front on a drift car so that if you're like drifting tandem close to someone and there's like wheel-to-wheel contact or any little maybe incidents happening like in the corners, then you wouldn't break an oil cooler or power steering cooler open. We can probably hide the power steering cooler somewhere on the intake side of the motor or by the frame rail, but I don't know about the oil cooler yet, and it looks like we're fresh out of space unless we put it in one of the corners, so we don't know where that will go yet. But Mark was bending some tube, and then if you guys come over here and look down here, there used to be a structure right there that would hold the OEM radiator, and Mark removed that cleanly by drilling out the spot welds and then put a base plate that had M10 hardware in it, and then this is a second base plate that is a exact twin to the one that's welded in the chassis, and then this bar here will be removable. This lower bar that's 1-inch DOM. That kind of makes it easy access to work on. It's a race car, you need it to be easy to work on wherever you're at, I guess. So that's happening. Then after that's all done, we'd still have to make a front bash bar if there's room. It will go from where the OEM base plates would have gone for the crash beam. Maybe we could use part of that and build off of that. We don't know yet. We're just kind of going step by step, and then it would come within the front bumper under that, the front section here. Look at the front bumper. It would ride under here somewhere, so we'll make that next. A really cool thing that finally came today, it's a new product from Cage Kits, is back here on the forklift. This is a pre-bent, pre-notched cage, so we still have to prep the chassis to put base plates, and then we still have to weld this all together. And we need to remove the windshield so that we can, where the A-pillar bars, these guys run along the A-pillar on the chassis, it's gonna be such a tight fit that you can stitch weld it along the actual chassis instead of doing gusset plates. It's just like a super tight fit, and we're pretty excited to work with Cage Kits on that. We're gonna be, I think we will be the first GT86 or FRS chassis to install that kit. That's gonna be cool. That will not be in this video, that will be in another video, but we'll keep you guys informed on that one. What are you thinking, Mark? He is thinking of what the next step is. It's actually a lot of room. No. If the bash bar is not made out of like the stock crash beam, yeah, if it's not a stock crash beam and we don't have those big fat like 4x4 structure there, you could easily take the intercooler right there. And then this side had to go up in here, didn't it? There's no room. You're gonna have to trim this structure, huh? If you guys were building something similar like this and you didn't have cups and bungs, just imagine how long it would take. So that's why you guys need to buy these cups and bungs. Not loud. Not even loud. Why is he doing that? This has to be sunk inside the firewall because GT86s don't have the right room and they have some weird mechanism and like an arm that comes over from the clutch pedal. I wasn't actually saying anything. I don't want to be around that noise, but check this out. Clean Supras over here. And then just have the V-band right there.
Obviously that's going to change, but I could like twist this way, rotate.
But you wouldn't even have to take a little angle out of that. It could stay like flat surface to flat surface.
I just do the bend, which is easy.
Pretty good. You still can't put an intake on it. It'll just literally be a filter. Alright. Race car exhaust. The tedious work of fitting all the piping together. So Mark's just tacking it right now and then like trimming, fitting back and forth with different fitment. And then later he'll cut that straight off at somewhere near the subframe. And I think you said you're gonna put a V-band around here somewhere?
I'll come up like this with the V-band on like a pipe.
Okay, so he's gonna do like a little 45 half cut somewhere around here, pointing up, and then put a V-band, but then at that point, it's gonna branch out because the OEM exhaust of a GT86 would have been both sides, so something will backtrack this way and come out there. So Mark's been working on this for a while right now. We'll show you guys when more stuff has happened. Lots of TIG welding coming up. All right, so we have an update on the GT86 build. Let me open the hood and go over some stuff under the hood for you guys. And then we have a couple other things to talk about. Okay, anything look new? A little bit of stuff is new since we last looked at under the hood of this car. I believe we just had done the front end stuff. So now we have a lot more plumbing is done. And on the hot side of the engine, we put fire sleeve on it. Plumbing that goes to and from coolant stuff. You can see it's pretty intricate. We did some boost plumbing, the water for the turbo. And then there's even like some vacuum hoses and stuff like that. And then you see Mark is in the car messing with the dashboard, because in the meantime, from when we last filmed, Mark has installed a full cage in this GT86 from Cage Kits, but that is a completely different episode because we wanted to break down the install. So if you're curious about Cage Kits and how easy it was to install that cage, check out the link below to that video. And then you can kind of follow along what we do with the cage kit in that video. I'll quickly show you right now that there's a cage in the car minus the door bars, because that will make it much more difficult to get in and out, so there's no door bars. So what Mark's doing right now is fitting the dash, doing the trimming. See, he has the Sawzall, the Air one over there, and a little sander. So he'll just fit it around the A-pillar bars until it fits, and then once we get the dash kind of in place, we're gonna work on setting that Sparco seat you can see in there, and one of us will sit in it and hold the steering wheel to replicate kind of where the steering wheel will go within an inch, and then we'll build a bracket to the dash bar, get that all situated so that we could make, you know, move on and make the next things we gotta build. Another thing that came in for this car, we already did brakes, like dual brakes and everything, and then he said, let's buy nice rims for the car. So he bought some raised wheels. They haven't shown up yet. But then he said, I can't have nice wheels and stock brakes, which his car had stock brakes. So he bought a bunch of Willwood calipers and a full big brake kit front and rear. But then he bought a second set of rear calipers. So that will also go on the car. So we're gonna have some cool stuff happening to the brakes, and we'll show you that when we're done. This car basically has all the parts, pretty much missing nothing. So that's something that we'll install pretty soon. We also did most of the exhaust. It's from the V-band, like it comes off the downpipe all the way to the back of the subframe. And he wants to do dual tips out the back. So we'll work on that and then update you guys pretty soon here. But there you go, progress on the GT86. Check out that cage though, fitment on that cage, nice and tight. So we got a bunch of progress on this car. Let's take a quick look before it leaves to go get the cage painted. So check it out. Fitment with the front bumper installed. Intercooler's in there, radiator's in there. There's even some plumbing that you guys hadn't seen on there. Then we come back here. Last where we left off, you guys had saw that Mark built the exhaust. Check it out when it's on the car. Came out really nice. So, something else we were doing was putting on big brake kit in the front and rear. This front one kind of worked out real effortlessly, just bolted on. And then in the rear, since he's dual caliper because he's gonna have a handbrake and he needs his second caliper for when you pull the handbrake, we were not able to fit these big, large 4 pistons. We had to do a smaller 4 piston. So this is the way that we were able to make it fit. We reduced the caliper a little bit, and then we had to do a custom bracket back in there. Whereas this one comes with a radial mount bracket from Willwood that's for GT86 or FRS chassis. Although it does have Wisefab, there's still spots where technically one of these could bolt over here, but it can't accommodate that size of a caliper, so we had to reduce it. There you have it. You have 2 really nice calipers on the back of Casey's GT86. Mark's kind of finishing up this side right now. And then the cage is complete as well, which came out amazing. Hopefully you guys were able to watch the other episodes, the Cage Kits episode, where Mark does the install on this and we kind of go through it. Casey wanted the inside of this car to look really clean and nice, so we were gonna take it to JV Auto Body and he's gonna paint the cage white so that kind of blends in with the interior. Probably got to remove some of this and then he could paint down there too. So yeah, just coming along one step at a time. Hope you guys enjoyed all the technical stuff on front end here and how we did that. We'll be back with another episode once we've made more progress.